What's going on, guys? In this video, we're going to talk about BFR training and the RecoverFun cuffs that I recently got to try out BFR training.
Go dummy, go beast on them. I go beast. Go deep, I OD on them. I OD. Apply pressure, put heat on them. Put that 500 degrees on them. 500 degrees. Go dummy, go beast on them. I go beast. Go deep, I OD on them. I OD. Apply pressure, put heat on them. Put that 500 degrees on them.
Okay, so what is BFR training? This is something that's been around for a long time, but I just recently kind of started to see it and got curious about it. It's not something that I feel would be necessary in my type of training as far as athletic training. But anyway, let's talk about what it is. So BFR training is blood flow restricted training, okay? And it's exactly what it sounds like. Basically what you do is you restrict venous blood flow back to your heart, which causes metabolic stress. It's also known as arterial occlusion. So you may hear people reference it as occlusion training. The idea is that this drives growth with minimal to no resistance or weights. Generally, it's limited to the limbs of the body, so like the arms and the legs. Now, at a glance, me, like most people, probably look at it like this is some bro science type stuff, right? I basically strap something onto my arm to get it all, the blood flowing, get it all pumped up, heavy. And of course it's going to look swollen because there's blood like being trapped in there. So I assumed it was just like a pump and that it didn't really have long-lasting benefits or benefits after the fact. But this is not bro science. There is a solid base of research on this particular training method. Like I've said, it's been around for quite a while. So there are a lot of times where you can't train at a high intensity or a high resistance volume or heavy weight, injury, a lack of equipment, whatever the case. So this would be a good alternative in those situations because you can do this and get the same metabolic effects of that type of training. So this is why BFR is an important alternative. If you cannot train with high intensity or you cannot train heavy, you can train with BFR. Now, there's a lot of science and biology and all kinds of just knowledge and intelligence that goes into this type of training and what is happening during BFR training, all that stuff. And I'm just not going to weigh this video down with all that stuff. You can just type in BFR and you'll find plenty of videos that'll break down all of that information in detail for you. I just wanted to cover what the basics of it is and why it's appealing to certain people. It makes sense to me why it would appeal to people who cannot train with high intensity resistance training at a specific time, that they could use this method to grow their muscles and to build strength. But me personally, I don't see or understand if it benefits anyone athletically. So you can build mass and you can build your strength, but does it help? And again, I'm a martial athlete, so all my resistance training is all about improving me athletically. Now you could say that, okay, strength is an improvement, right? But trust me, I know plenty of strong people that aren't athletic, so that I don't connect those two. Being athletically and being strong, like in those athletic movements, yes, but these are isolated movements like bicep curls. So I think it might be good to mix it into your routine, but I would say, and I'm telling you now, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, but I'm going to tell you, I don't think you should do it a lot. Right now I'm doing it, I'll probably do it 2, maybe 3 times a week. I train 6 days a week. Maybe I'll throw it in there a couple times a week. But I will not be replacing my current training with this because still, the primary and best method of training is always going to be straight up training, volume training or progressive overload or all these types of things to continue to grow and strengthen your body and increase your fitness, but in an athletic way to keep you athletic. And this is more isolated. Does it have benefits? Obviously, there's several studies that prove the benefits of it, but don't become addicted to it and because you become addicted with that mass that comes with it or that perceived strength. I don't know. I haven't been doing it long enough to see strength gains, but I do kind of feel the the pump and I can see where it might be building mass, and I'll keep an eye on my arms and legs as I use these things. Now there's certain guidelines to follow to be careful and make sure, again, you're not tightening the straps too much or that you're being like careless or overdoing it. So maybe when you start, you should probably be supervised by somebody who's proficient in the training method, or there's some routines online that you can look up that are very detailed scientifically on how to do this safely. But make sure that you're not just being a meathead about it and you're just gonna chasing that pump and really get kind of ignorant about it, okay? Do it safely and be smart. I will say, do not use bands. You'll see some videos where people are strapping like resistance bands around their body. You just can't control the tension. It could be debated, right? It could be argued that yes, you can loosen it, but I just don't see how. And when you're strapping down and get pretty tight, and trust me, when I use the cuffs like I explained, when you get it too tight, it is super painful, all right? And it's not supposed to be too painful, right? That's, I think, when things get dangerous. This is why I love these RecoverFun cuffs, because with the pump, you really can control the amount of tension around the top of that muscle and the amount of BFR that you're or pressure that you're putting in there. I just think that it's a better way to go. Is it more expensive? Yes. And usually I don't push for the more expensive product. I would tell you that a $20 or $30 cuff that you can strap in is a better option. And if you prefer that, or if that's within your budget and you want to try this kind of training, absolutely. But if you're looking for something and you got a little extra scratch, I think that these cuffs can be very beneficial to just ease you into this type of training. Again, I don't think you should be doing this training a lot. I don't think you should replace some of your isolated lifts with this type of training. It's meant to be, again, a surrogate or an alternative. There are no additional benefits to this type of training. It's not better than the other types of training. It's similar. It is meant to replace one if you are unable to do that type of training. So here's how the cuffs work. So the cuffs aren't that easy to get on by yourself. I actually had to have my wife put them on the first time. Here, and then these two straps here, okay? So now the cuff is on. This is on the inside, but I kind of prefer it on the outside. Now, it's a little loose, and you want it a little loose, which is the difference between these and a more expensive brand of cuff, because a more expensive brand of cuff, you would just tighten it where it's at. Now, it's a little loose so that I can slide it up into position. You want it at the top of the muscle group that you're working. In this case, it's my bis and tris. And then the reason it could be a little loose is because you're gonna pump it up. And that's what makes the RecoverFun cuff different from other cuffs. So nozzle, I like the nozzle on the outside. Slide it up, make sure it's nice and secure above the muscle that I'm gonna be working. Now, we're gonna pump it up. So this is a bit tricky. This little clip here, you just gotta remember how it works. So you want this clip pushed in, okay, and then you secure it onto the nozzle. Okay, you hear that click, and then let's pump it up. I wanna pump it to about 70% of your pain threshold. When I first used these the other day, man, I pumped them up way too much, and it was so painful. I can't even put it into words. I had to like release a bit of air, which is great. That's where these cuffs are really good. I can control how tight they are. This is why you don't use exercise bands, because if you put them too tight, it could be a problem, right? And I don't even know how, when I'm wrapping bands around, how I would dial in the amount of pressure that I'm putting, like really to a degree where I have this nozzle here and I can gauge exactly how much pressure I'm putting on there. So I'm gonna go up to 120. I did 140 yesterday and it was too much. So quick update, I did decide to pump it up to 140, but I am feeling that, man. Yeah, okay. All right, we're letting that settle in a bit, and like initially, guys, you're gonna feel this. It's an awkward feeling. It's pretty intense. Okay, you can already see the veins in my arm. Okay, now this is where using low weights is important. That's the whole point of this, is that I can train with minimal to no weights. I mean, look guys, I'm using 5s, okay? Now the set rep I'm gonna do is 30 second rest, 15, 30-second rest, and 15, okay? Now the tempo you want is a 2-1-2 tempo. So 2 seconds up, 1 second at the top, 2 seconds down. Okay, so this is the tempo. Oh man, I made the mistake of using 10 pounds yesterday, and I had to change to 20, 10, 10. This is throbbing through, like, from the shoulder down, or from the bicep down. I can't even describe to you. It's like I could feel every single vein in my arm. First set. Now you're gonna rest for 30 seconds, okay? Guys, this is like a pump like I've never felt before. It is pretty intense, man. So please be careful. Like, this almost feels like it's dangerous. All right, let's get that second set. Oh my God. Oh man, look, that is very intense. Now I'd imagine I'll get used to this, but this is because this is like the second time I've used this. Okay, let's get this last set of 15, all right? I'm telling you guys, you do not need more than 5. 5s, 5-pound dumbbells. By the time you're done with your sets, man, you cannot wait to get these things off. So I'm gonna do that now. Simple, attach to the nozzle again. And then you just turn to the left, release all the air. Oh man. Okay. I'm not exaggerating, guys. That is intense, man. That's like next level intense. You do not get a pump like that. Doing weights, just doing like heavy weights and stuff. When you take these off, your arms, you have a pump for like. Yesterday, I right after I did this, I kind of went into my office and did some work, and my arms were throbbing. I'm not exaggerating. They were throbbing for about a half hour. You know, so what's great about these RecoverFun cuffs is, again, man, knowing yesterday when I overdid it and pumped it too high and the intensity, I can't imagine trying to dial in the proper intensity with just some resistance band, like looping it around my arm multiple times. I think like being able to really control that pressure is crucial, you know, or it's a game changer as far as like if you're gonna invest in one of these BFR type cuffs. Again, on Amazon, you can get one that you just kind of tighten yourself. That might be easier, but I am enjoying like the ability to control it. And again, let's say you get better at it. Like I can't explain it, man. It's you know what it feels like a blood pressure machine. I mean, everyone's had the blood pressure machine cuff, and you know how tight that thing can get. But of course, you usually put it on your bicep, put it up here. I'm telling you, man, it's a different kind of BFR training when you use these cuffs. In the end, I'm not suggesting that you do it. I just wanted to put this video out because I was curious about it. So I contacted RecoverFun to try out their cuffs. And I just wanted to kind of see how it felt. And then I wanted to do the research to understand what was the appeal or what was the benefits, if any, what was the downside, if any, of course. And so this is just my take on it. And the product that I prefer at this point are these RecoverFun cuffs. I just like RecoverFun products. I've kind of been a fan of theirs for a little bit. But so if you want to check out those cuffs, make sure you go to recoverfun.com. I'll make sure I put the purchase links if this is something you want to get into. If you want to go with a different cuff that's more affordable, that is your choice, okay, guys? But do your research and make sure if you get into a BFR program or routine, or you're adding it into your routine or replacing something for whatever reason, that you understand it and that you understand how to do it properly and safely. And if things are, feeling weird, back off, all right? Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the videos. Guys, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so we can keep this thing going, all right? Keep fighting for fit. As always, no excuses, and I will see you guys in the next video.